Morning or welcome to Read and Relax session. This is a book review event organized by UTM Library Synergy with UTM Toastmasters Club. I am SHYONG, a PhD candidate from Faculty of Civil Engineering as well as a member from UTM Toastmasters Club. I am the moderator for today's session. This is the 22nd Read and Relax session as well as the last session for the year 2022. Read and Relax session with the purpose of promoting the culture of reading not only among the campus University Technology Malaysia, but also to the surrounding community. Starting in 2018, this session run entirely by the library UTM. Initially only for library staff, but now we expand to all of the people, including staff, students, and of the public. So today we can see that we have two panel. We'll be doing the sharing. Okay, for the first panel, we will have Dr. CHING from UTM Toastmasters Club, as well as the alumni from Faculty of Chemical and Energy Engineering. Second, we have Dr. RAMESH from Faculty of Civil Engineering. He's a postdoc, and as well as from UTM Toastmasters Club. So both of them will be sharing two books today. So please welcome our first panel, CHING. Hi, CHING.
Hi,
Can you
good
tell us more
morning.
about yourself and the book that you are going to share with us today?
Yeah, sure. Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is CHING. I'm a postgraduate student from the Faculty of Chemical and Energy Engineering. I'm so honored and grateful to have the invitation to be here with you all today to share a book that I read and hope perhaps today's sharing will be helpful for you. Now, I want to share with you this book about how to be like a productivity ninja by Graham Alcott. So this book shares the tips on how to develop a ninja mindset that apply it in every area of our working life in order to improve our productivity. You might be wonder why the author named it as ninja instead of another fancy name such as superhero, because the author highlights that we all are normal human, just like a ninja or typical character, but can achieve the big goals. And one of the loudest messages from the author is that we just need to be a productivity ninja, and we don't need to be a magically become a superhero. So we shall develop a ninja mindset to improve our productivity. And this book, another highlight that I would also like to acknowledge is that this book is actually gifted by one of my Toastmaster member who called Sakesh Raj. He is also a master student from UTM. And I get this book because working with him to manage the Toastmaster clubs in the Johor State. And as an appreciation, he gifted me this book. And you know what? This is the first non-fiction book that I read. So thank you so much to him. And he is the one who started my non-fiction reading journey for my English reading journey. Thank you.
Wow, I like this culture so much, especially in UTM. We exchange the book or even give the book to someone to exchange the knowledge. So yeah, we cultivate the reading culture in UTM so much, right? And thank you so much for the ninja. I'm looking forward to the content that you want to share. So next we have another panel today, Dr. Ramesh. Dr. Ramesh, do you want to briefly introduce your book as well as introduce yourself more to the audience?
Good morning to everybody. I'm Ramesh BHATAWDEKAR. I'm postdoc at University Technology Malaysia in Civil Engineering Department. I'm alumni of UTM as well as alumni of UTM Toastmasters Club. So it is a great pleasure to join this session, wonderful session. And actually, I am going to share the book, which is a collection effort by UTM Toastmaster Area Director from India, and then this conference proceeding I'll be presenting. And I was the editor of this book, so I contributed in this 10 research papers, and it was wonderful experience to organize the conference, which was organized on 2021 December 2021. So it is having rhythm, 2021 12 2021. So that date was selected, and I feel very proud that I was one of the editor, and it is a Springer publication, lecture note in civil engineering. And this copy also I received after a lot of efforts. Springer sent 2 times, it was misplaced, but I got it back. So it is wonderful experience. I will like to share you further. Thank you. Back to
Wow,
moderator.
so interesting. The book that you shared today is so special. It's a proceeding. It's a lot of journal article in the and compound as a book, right? Maybe this is something new to the public. Maybe Dr. Ramesh, you can share more with us. What is proceeding? What is proceeding conference? Because this session is open to public. Some of them might wonder what is research, what is proceeding.
Actually, normally every university conducts the conferences. So this is a proceeding. It was organized on 20th and 21st of December 2021. It was live experience, and everybody presented, or it was recorded, and their respective paper, and they contributed. Then Springer is a publisher. They scrutinize. It is doubly peer reviewed, every paper, and then it is goes as a conference proceeding. So it takes 3 to 4 months time to publish this complete proceeding. So as an editor, I got connected how to work with publisher as well as various reviewers and authors. And I'm also proud that I was teaching at IIT Kharagpur, another university in India. So my undergraduate student also contributed in this. So I feel very happy that totally 10 papers I contributed with other authors. And so one of the paper I got it, means our joint effort, that got best paper award. So that was also wonderful. There are 4 themes in this, because this conference was started because in Southeast Asia, on infrastructure, $100 billion USD are spent every year. Out of that, $40 billion are spent in India alone. So what I want to say, that whatever knowledge is being generated because of infrastructure project, it is unique, and that's why this conference was started. So a lot of knowledge will be transferred, and it can be shared. So that is a platform where in the conference where you can do networking, and then also connect with professionals which you don't know, or if you are doing a PhD, you can present in conference and you may be asked few questions, so you come to know. So that is how this is helpful. And then the other advantage of conference is that you need not publish actual research material. So that is also there. So the 4 themes were underground mining and ground control, tunneling. Then third part was underground structure and mining geotechnics. So total number of pages are 12 is introduction and 810. So totally 822 pages are there. Thank you. Back to moderator.
Thank you, Dr. Ramesh. I can hear a lot of information from your sharing. And to the in the layman term, this proceeding book, right, is compiling all the knowledge in the conference. And normally people pay for conference, right? The people paid to attend the conference, and all the researcher will present their tremendous knowledge in the conference, and then they will publish their knowledge in the book. All the knowledge compound and become the book that Dr. Ramesh want to present today. So by joining this session today for free, you can get a lot of knowledge Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Ramesh. But since we have two panels, right, we will start from Dr. Liu Wenqing first for her book Productivity Ninja, then followed by the Proceeding conference book. So may I invite again Dr. Liu Wenqing. So you told us, right, the productivity is so crucial nowadays. Dr. Liu Wenqing, are you here? Okay, while waiting, Dr. Liu Wenqing, I personally found that productivity is so crucial nowadays, especially after MCO. During MCO, right, I procrastinate a lot because it's like it was like a official holiday for everyone, right? We have a solid reason to rest, take a break, and take care well of our health. So no interact with any people. So some sort like quite demotivating in the period. So after the MCO period, right, everyone want to catch up with their progress in terms of work or studies, right? So it is so important to share this book to our audience today. We want to catch up with our progress today. So, Dr. Li Wenqing, how are we going to boost our productivity?
All right, here I will share with you that what I learned from this book about the Ninja Productivity Model, which call it CORD model, CORD, CORD model. The first one, capture and collect. The authors tell us that we need to keep all the ideas, all the projects, all the to-do lists, and any information from your friends, for your family, or even your own mind, using some useful tools such as the notes and emails to jot down everything that wish to do in one category. And then second, you have to learn how to organize the O. You have to organize the things into different level of the lists just to ensure that you have a clear clarity on how and what we can do. And the authors tell us that there are actually three levels of the list. The first one is the project list, where there's a collection of all the big and small actions that's designed to achieve some particular goal. And you also can use the nomenclature for the project's arrangement. For example, now I'm doing my study, right? So I will use the S to categorize all, to name all the to-do lists that I wish to do. And for my personal work, I will use P. For my work, such as the PGSS work, I will use W to learn how to categorize all the projects. And second level of the list is the master action list. This is the single action that we can currently do, and we must also list out the full action. For example, today I'm going to contact my moderator, SHYONG, to discuss with him on how we are going to do this UTM Read and Relax. Instead of I just write down in my note mentioning that contact SHYONG, I have to write that contact SHYONG about ideas for this UTM Library Read and Relax event. So you have to list out clearly and detail what is the exact action that you will need to do in this master action list. And within this one, the author also highlight the 2-minute rule and the short action. This is also encourage us to do things within 2 minutes. So ladies and gentlemen, if you notice that you have anything that you should do and can be done in less than 2 minutes, you should do it straight away instead of being added it to your master action list. I think this is one of the effective way for us to prevent our procrastination. As you mentioned just now, we all need to boost our productivity, right? So you have to remember this 2-minute rule. If you can do the work within 2 minutes, you must do it now and without adding it into your master list. And the third level of the list is the daily to-do list. It's a daily activity that must be completed on that day. So you might be wonder, so what's the difference between the master action list and the daily to-do list? Okay, you imagine this way. The master action list is like a wardrobe. You're full of all of your clothes that you can wear. While the to-do list is like the cloth that you are going to wear today. So the daily to-do list will be more detailed and more simple one that you will have to do it on that specific day. And one note to all the audience, don't be over ambitious to fill up your daily to-do list. because sometimes our motivation will get distracted with some additional tasks. For example, I'm going to do my lab today, and I have a list of the laboratory work to do. But suddenly, my SV call me. Maybe we need to have to meet the SV, and it will drag my lab work. And actually, it will distract our motivation. And sometimes we demotivated, like, oh, I will delay my work. I can't finish all my to-do list. So you just don't need to be over ambitious, or you get distracted. You just need to take 2 minutes to just rearrange your daily to-do list, just to ensure you can finish your work. Okay? Now we have to go into the third stage, which is the review. The COR stands for review. And this review stage, the author encouraged us to promote mindfulness. So we shall review our weekly and daily checklist to revisit the ideas and rearrange the tasks. Also, in this review stage, you just need to use 5 minutes to answer 5 questions. The first one, calendar. What is in our calendar today? And are there any deadlines looming in the next 3 to 5 days? The second question, big rocks. So what is the good action in this week or today? And what are the 1 to 3 big rocks that need to more focus? The big rocks symbolize a heavy duty or the most difficult task that you are going to complete it. The third question, resistance. Which task that we resist to do the most, and why? Why are we resist to do some? We have to identify the difficulty in ourselves. The fourth question, attention management. So which task requires the intensive concentration of our proactive attention, and which task can be done during some inactive periods? The inactive periods is a period that we don't need much. We have lost our main brain power. Then we cannot make some difficult decision. For example, like after every lunchtime, we might feel tired. So we have not much brain energy to do works. So this is called inactive periods. So we have to identify which task that requires most of our focus and which task just can be done during the inactive periods. The fifth question, dependency. Are there any things that we chosen are time dependent, people dependent, or resources dependent? Is that necessary? Just to identify that, can we do the work independently without relying on others? So these are the 5 questions that you always need to ask yourself when you review your weekly and daily to-do list. Now, moving on to the last stage, which is the most difficult one. I think most of us have the problem, which is the procrastination, which is the do. The CORD, D stands for do. Do is the stage that we should develop momentum and start doing it. So the authors have categorized it into 3 broad sets of the do habits. The first one, managing attention. Try to protect yourself from the interruptions, because as I mentioned before, attention is our limited resources. Sometimes we feel tired and no energy to do some difficult works. So we have to protect ourselves from the interruptions and try to minimize the setup costs, such as the time and attention, by trying to do the work in larger chunks instead of you splitting it into several days. For example, I'm going to complete one difficult lab report in one day instead of doing it in several days. Because when we are trying to do the report in the second day, on the third day, I will need to revise and read again the lab report, and it actually consumes more time. So if you can do a difficult task within one day, you should do it within one day instead of you split it into several days. The second one is the decision tools. The authors have introduced several productivity tools to help us on how can we improve our productivity. But one of the recognizable tool is the Big Rocks by the Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Ladies and gentlemen, do you remember the Big Rocks story, where the lecturer take a glass jar and fill up the glass jar with the big rocks and ask the question, is this jar empty or full? And the student answer is full, right? And the lecturer will then fill up with small pebbles and ask students again, is this full? And the student was so surprised because the jar can be filled by the big rocks and the small pebbles. And the lecturer continued to fill up with the sand and the water until the jar is full. So what is this lesson that we can learn? The author, Stephen, actually just want us to learn that we have to focus on the big rocks, meaning that the big rocks that represent the most difficult tasks, we actually need to focus on the most difficult tasks first during our proactive and active attention. And then let the pebbles, the sands, the water, all those represent the small and easy tasks flow around the big rocks. Meaning that we have to focus on the difficult one within our daily to-do list so that we will get some motivation or some satisfaction after doing the most difficult task to keep our momentum going to do the rest one. And the last is the do tactics that we encourage monotasking. I think most of us learn that we have to be multitasker, right? But actually, we actually need to learn to be a monotasker because a monotasker can train us to do one thing more attentively and more efficiently. Instead of doing several things at one time that will distract you, actually we should do it in one time and just focus on one thing that we can complete it more effectively. And the second tips that I feel very surprised and impressed is that we need to schedule our own procrastination. The author tells us that after every 25 minutes of the work, you have to give yourself 5-minute break to actually comfort yourself that you're guaranteed to have a rest. And if you think that this 5 minutes is not enough, you can give yourself another 5 minutes of procrastination. And this time, you actually tell yourself and persuade yourself that you cannot delay anymore because your wish has been fulfilled. You have already get 10 extra 5 minutes of the procrastination. So your inner, you boost you and motivates you to continue your work after this 10 minutes work. And I think this is so surprising and new to me that we actually need to schedule our procrastination. And I hope this CORD model introduced by the author about the productivity ninja, CORD, capture and collect, organize, review, and do will help you to boost your productivity.
Wow, thank you, Dr. Liu. It's so informative, you know. I found that this book is so practical and the author tried to speak from the view of psychology. A lot of example that you give, I can link to the psychology in terms of the procrastination. For example, like you reminded us quite a few times, try to break our task into a smaller pieces, right? Okay, smaller part, so that our mind can imagine the task is achievable. And you even mentioned the 2 minutes rules, right? 2 minutes, just 2 minutes, right? Okay, I can spend 2 minutes by drinking water or scrolling my social media, right? But I can actually spend this 2 minutes easily on settling some easy tasks, okay? So that I can feel the satisfaction to proceed with the next bigger task, right? A lot of useful tips. Okay, I guess this is a very useful book, but by sharing verbally, it's very hard to follow or capture the idea. So to the audience, right, if you really want to read the books, maybe you can consult with the Dr. Liu after this, how to get this ninja book, okay, after this. So when Dr. Wenqing, after reading this book, right, before and after, do you think it makes any difference from you? I mean, in terms of productivity.
Yes, definitely. It leaves some impacts to me. As I mentioned just now, I didn't realize that we need to be a monotasker, that we actually have to focus on one thing first when we do. That actually consume less time and energy if we just stay focused in one thing. Another thing is that schedule procrastination that I feel very impactful and useful because sometimes I'm the one who can be considered as a good self-disciplined person that I can actually focus and do things, but feel tired sometimes. And this schedule procrastination that I learned from this book actually teach me how to satisfy myself and especially how to emotionally comfort myself so that I can keep my momentum going and do the task continuously. And this actually helped me on how I schedule my daily to-do list according to the one that I learned from the project, from the master until the daily to-do list. And I learn how to make it more detailed and how can I put my schedule procrastination inside it to just emotionally motivate me to do my work.
Wow, thank you so much. So, Dr. Liu, how much will you rate yourself? Are you a very productive person? 1 to 10, how will you rate yourself?
I guess I can rate myself 7. I can
7.
complete tasks on time. Just that sometimes I can't get the satisfaction, emotionally satisfaction or like inner motivation. I just do because of the deadline chasing me.
Meaning to say you are very uh, productive people. You always push yourself until your emotional tired. Okay, so I like
Yeah,
the way
true.
you mentioned we need to schedule our procrastination. So this is very rare, right? Usually people, the books, all the motivational books ask us to use our rational brain to control or avoid procrastination. But this is the first time I heard someone allow people to procrastinate, and we need to schedule it so that we are emotionally comfortable and do more tasks after this, right? So this is so
Yeah,
I I like this idea so much. This is so practical and useful. So
true.
so after this, I believe you will schedule your procrastination, right? I wonder how if our desire for procrastinate is getting larger and larger. You know, for example, today I procrastinate for 5 minutes, and then next tomorrow I wanted to procrastinate for 10 minutes. How should we control this procrastination limit?
I think this book doesn't promote us to go extreme. The one you mentioned is quite extreme already because once I give you 5 minutes of scheduled rest, you have to take it and give you another 5, you have 10 already. If you keep going greedy, so I think none of the productivity model can help you if everything goes extreme. So at the same time, when we are emotionally fat, we also need to be rationally to do some rational decisions. So we also have to come back to go back to our schedule to be a disciplined person. So both are important. The schedule procrastination just to emotionally feed your soul, while the productivity ninja, the model, rationally help you to make your organize your tasks.
Okay, I another point I like this book so much is it use a lot of analogy. For example, like ninja from the title, right? And then for the big rock, okay, the analogy reminded us that we want to put our priority accordingly, so that if we do the big task first, after we feel the satisfaction, then we have greater motivation to do the other tasks. So it's so useful. Any other useful knowledge or tips that you want to share from this book?
Yes, yes, definitely. I learned new thing also from this book about good attention management. I think most of us are well known about the good time management, right? But this book highlights about good attention management because the book authors highlight that stay focused or attentively is actually the key factor to complete the task, not just time management. The author mentioned that time plus the right attention and focus equals to done. You know what? Actually, people have limited resources such as the attention and energy. So we actually have different levels of the attention throughout our day. So there are 3 different types of attention highlighted based on the crude analysis. The first one is the proactive attention, where we can fully focus and alert. So this is the best time that we make the most important decision. For example, we should attend the important meeting, we should do project planning and reviews. So when is our proactive attention for the people like me who wake up early? So morning before the or after breakfast is my proactive attention where I can make some important decision. While the second attention is active attention, where we can easily get distracted or occasionally brilliant but often sloppy. And this time we may need some coffee to get our momentum going. And this moment we can do some not much energy draining activity such as your attend meeting or schedule your daily activity. And the last but not least is the inactive attention. This is the time where we have no much brain power left, so we will be struggle if we do some difficult tasks. For example, during the lunchtime, actually we feel very sleepy or tired, and this is the time where we have inactive attention. So we can do some simple tasks such as the printing style, we delete emails, or even we make our own coffee. So this is the time that we can do some simple thing. So we have to understand our daily attention levels so that we can make use our attention timetable wisely in order to maximize our productivity. So everyone, you have to go back to try to understand yourself and try to schedule your attention timetable to and fit in the activities according to the difficulty in your daily to-do list so that you can maximize your productivity. Thank you.
Okay, feel like very motivated now. Okay, I like the way you mentioned the focus management. Okay, the focus management, because nowadays too much of informations. Okay, nowadays everywhere you can see, you open your phone, you turn on your phone, and then you can see a lot of information from Facebook, Insta, even TikTok, right? YouTube, news, a lot of information. So we need to select the important thing that we want to absorb. Okay, manage our focus. Thank you so much. Can you summarize in a very brief way about this book? What kind of tips? And then maybe you can repeat once again to conclude your session.
Okay, sure. Okay, few things I would like to highlight. First one, manage your attention, which is to understand your own ability and strength, and even as far as the weakness in your so that you can schedule your timetable well. Secondly, try to apply the CORD model: capture and collect, organize, review, and do. This is the
Okay, seems like we are having a technical issues. Okay, as we can see, Dr. Liu's video is getting blur and blur, right? So let me summarize the overall things. So Dr. Liu emphasized on 4 steps that we can boost our productivity. CORD, capture and collect, and then we need to list it down, organize, and then review everything, and then just do it. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Liu. So now we are a very productive person. Let's step into the research area. Dr. Ramesh, welcome, Dr. Ramesh, again on the stage.
Okay, thank you. Back to, but just as a part of introduction, I would like to tell about each of the editor of this book. It is while we prepare a proceeding, it is very nice to be connected with wonderful people like who are with different research area, and we get inspiration. So Dr. Verma is from BHUIT India. He is specialist in underground structures. Professor AB, who was my guide for master and PhD and postdoc. You know about him. He is the dean of School of Civil Engineering. Myself, then Dr. Professor Raina. He is from SIMFER, one of the research institute in India. Dr. Manoj Khandelwal is from Federation University, Australia. He is in surface mining. Dr. Daniel, he is alumni, and he is top 1% scientist with H index 65 citation, 15,000, 10 citations per day. In the morning, I read just like various followers are there, so I read his citation. I get inspiration for doing more research. Dr. Sarkar is also from IIT ISA Dhanbad. So it is wonderful to work with different professionals. And also, I could work. This was a good example of international cooperation in COVID-19 periods. Researchers from India, Europe, Australia, and contributed research paper in theme of conference. And this is just the beginning. is what I feel. And geotechnical challenge in the world, record making mine rescue by Dr. B.K. Samanta. This is one of the wonderful paper he has presented. Actually, what happened in 1989, disaster occurred in underground coal mine, and then at Mahabari Colliery, and Professor Ramlu, my previous undergraduate institute or university, head of the department mining engineering at IIT Kharagpur, he designed a capsule, and then because of that, 65 lives were saved. So on 4th January 2022, where myself and Professor V.K. Tiwari, Director IIT Kharagpur, we visited his house and we presented him as on behalf of ICGMTU as a mining hero because he saved 65 lives. So this is one of the paper written in this proceeding, and each team had one best paper, and I contributed 10 paper. I explained you. Out of that, intelligent prediction drilling rate that received one of the best award for my paper. And then so this is about this book. So also this conference, 12 international speakers were invited. They joined the conference online mode from US, Europe, Australia, Malaysia, India, China, like that. And then it was good for the Toastmasters, like area director, um, Toastmaster Nilesh from Mumbai region. He helped to organize 3 pre-conference events, and also Dr. Zainab, you may be knowing Toastmaster Zainab, who was working that time. She helped to organize pre-conference event. So I'm also thankful to Professor AD, Professor T.N. Singh from IIT Bombay, and now Director of IIT Patna, Dr. H.S. Venkatesh, and Director NRM, who supported me organize this publication. It is said that a friend in need is a friend indeed. All committee members were helpful in inviting 12 overseas speakers, which I explained you. Toastmaster contributed great in organizing this event. So this is a good learning for Toastmaster, that Toastmaster can change how international event can be organized well in time bound manner. And there was also the Green Award where Jim O'Brien from Ireland and Kirkare, who supported this, organized the event. And after this, what we have done, we are coming with the second volume of ICGMTU Proceeding. Normally, Proceeding is only proceeding, but whoever were the speakers or pre-conference event promotion for the conference was done. So that is brought as the second volume. So it will be published soon. So that will be helpful for them. So, and shall I tell you further impact and benefits to the audience, or later on I'll tell you? Or so, if you are not Toastmaster, join Toastmaster. Enhance leadership and communication skills. If you are Toastmaster, participate in such event and audience. Your presence in such online event will help, and it will involve, as Toastmaster, it is a cakewalk to organize international conference. Conferences are networking and improving research collaboration. If you are doing PhD, you can always present initial literature review, feedback, new ideas, your own research findings to be published in SCI Q1, Q2 journals, and not and PhD thesis not as a conference proceeding. Please remember this. This is my tip to the audience. If you are a PhD student, don't publish your own ideas in the proceedings. Please keep it to yourself. You may say need for future research instead of saying that publishing your final results. That should be published as Q1, Q2 or Scopus index paper. Not as a proceeding volume. Proceeding are meant for getting more ideas, getting feedback like that. So this is there, and regarding criticism of reading and writing style arrangements, I would say that conference proceeding is diversified material. If you are looking as a textbook, it is not a textbook because there are diversified papers, so you may not find specific area. So each theme there should have been preference, and core papers, all papers means writing style. I would have said that editors, as the editors, we should have taken efforts so that each theme should have been connected to each paper and sequence should have been arranged. Like as received for a particular theme, papers are presented. So also most of the authors, they have not mentioned need for future research, which is missing because conferences are meant for one step for moving ahead in research. So this conference, most of the papers, they are not mentioned in conclusion or discussion what is need for future research. So this improvement can be done. And so so overall summary, shall I tell you now itself? Okay. So
Maybe we
working as
for a while. Okay, I can hear a lot of information from you, Dr. Ramesh, from what is proceeding until you think a lot of great editors that help in your editor's life journey, and then you encourage us to join Toastmaster Club to boost our confidence, to make us as a critical thinker, and then you give some very useful tips in publishing paper in the view of editors. You encourage what kind of mistake that we make. Too many information is so useful. Thank you, Dr. Ramesh. But before you summarize your session, right, I'm very curious on this conference proceeding books that you mentioned, because this title is International Conference on Geotechnical Challenges in Mining, Tunneling, and Underground Structure, right? And just now I heard about one case study that you mentioned, a disaster about flooding in mining area, right? And can you tell us more about what is the biggest challenge nowadays in terms of geotechnical tunneling or the underground structure?
Actually all metro cities or everywhere, space is a constraint, so there is nothing other than going below ground. So the below ground while going, it is a rock formation and it is not known. It will behave normally or it will behave abnormal way, and that becomes a challenging. That's why each place is unique, but if you go step by step, then it is the challenge can be minimized. You can see by, for example, in Singapore or KL, there are a lot of underground tunnels and means malls. Everything is situated, and that is a
Yeah,
trend. Future, it is going to be trend. That's why I projected this $100 billion is spent every year. So out of that, $1 billion goes for research, and out of that proceeding, some millions should go. So this is just beginning, what I say. So there is a lot of thing as a civil engineer. You are also from civil engineering, so it is a good opportunity where you can contribute and proceed ahead. That's why with that I started this conference, and I hope every 2 years we'll organize. This is not a normal topic on which people think, but it is identified through research only that this topic will go and go on, and only Southeast Asia is having the development. Because if you think Southeast Asia, US already economy is saturated. Europe is, how it is, like Australia also already development has taken place. So only this next decade, what is the opportunity is Southeast Asia only. Like wherever new projects or whatever is likely to come is, that's why with that intention it has started, and I think it will continue to grow. Means so as a overall summary, I will tell you. Shall I tell you, or if you want to comment something, and then I'll summarize
yeah.
it.
Before, I think we still have time. Maybe before you summarize your session, I'm quite curious on the things. Just now you mentioned, yeah, the biggest challenge is a lot of things under the ground is unforeseeable, unpredictable, right? But by following the correct procedure, okay, by using civil engineer knowledge, right, we can actually investigate the things that under the ground, right? And a lot of projects nowadays are doing underground. They do underground parking, underground traffic, even underground MRT railway, right? So, and a lot more. What is the future potential uh, to be used the underground area in
Yes,
to your
because
knowledge?
just like Hong Kong, various high-storied buildings are there, but underground, everybody or every metro, it is required. It is a necessity. Like India also population is growing, so we are having a lot of metro project, tunneling project. Just recently, I came to know that in Mumbai, actually, world record happened. How much 24 hours tunnel boring machine could product or productivity was highest. So now I'll see that how I can be involved in writing a research paper on that, record how it was created. So like that, each is a unique, and you get different new ideas or what has happened. So it is very interesting, it because
Yeah,
research should not be monotonous, like going to the school and or going to college and doing repeating and like that. So it should be always innovative, new what has happened or like that. So then it becomes interesting. So
yes, very
and
interesting. Just now you mentioned
and
when the urbanization, a lot of building built in the city, right? When there is not enough space, we got wide, we got
yes,
beside, we got wide, and then when there is not enough space after we go wide, we go high. We build tall
yes,
building, but after this we go underground. So we are fully utilize the spaces, right? So
yes.
it's so interesting. And
Uh,
any new
I,
technology in the underground structure technology, do you have uh, anything want to share? Because I believe
yes,
you read a lot of papers, right? The
yes.
trendiest knowledge.
Yes, actually, for example, Norway, they were doing research for 50 years. Now they came with a idea connecting north-south with a floating tunnel. Inside the sea, there will be floating tunnels, and then how the Norway from north to south will be connected. So for
Sorry,
technology development, it took 50 years. Just what I'm saying.
is
So,
is
so
underground?
this is connected with this topic. What I'm just sharing with you, it is not as a part of proceeding, but as a part of discussion. I'm telling you. So various technologies are getting developed. Various information technology is available where you can monitor everything what is happening in the underground. Every minute you can have online video cameras or various instrumentation, internet of things, and sensors can be fitted, and through that you get various feedback, and through that you can monitor and control the underground structures, how it is moving or like that. So that is very interesting. So I think this topic will go ahead much ahead
Yeah,
in
yeah.
future.
I found this is so interesting. Hopefully, one day Malaysia have a tunnel highway so that we can avoid the traffic jam, especially during the festival
Yeah,
session. And Dr. Ramesh, I can see from the comment in the Facebook, the Handoyo, the Handoyo asked you a question: how to get the proceedings? Perhaps there are researchers in Indonesia interested.
No, I can
You can,
actually, what I'll do, I'll share it to you. Yeah. And then I've got the soft copy, and you can get the soft copy freely. Like there is nothing, means actual price is there by Springer, but I can share whoever is the audience, whoever is interested, they can get it. And so that I will share already, I think in WhatsApp, I shared the volume, complete volume. It
okay.
is a big
We need
volume, about 15-20 MB is the size of the volume. So it can be used by anybody who is interested. They can use it, and it is useful because the researchers will be cited. I know that whoever is asking for volume, that is mostly researchers will be asking. and we'll be happy because you cite our papers, so what we want. So
Yeah, yeah, citation is so crucial and so important for researcher, right? And I can see you have total 750 citations. Wow, wow, that's
uh,
impressive. So, Dr. Ramesh, is it legal to share this proceeding publicly, or this is the paid?
publicly, actually, one-to-one basis. Otherwise, I'll write here my email address, and then somebody can send request, and there is nothing as a complimentary we can give. Like there is nothing like I don't know about legality, but as a personally, I can always share. I have shared my email address. So somebody
Okay,
can
okay. Do
request,
you,
I'll share that. No problem. Or please share your WhatsApp number. That is better because I don't want to occupy my Gmail number.
oh,
I prefer to send. Nowadays, I have learned the technique by which I share communication on WhatsApp. So I don't block my Gmail. Otherwise,
okay, okay. I can see you send your email address, but in a private chat. Maybe our technical team um or can pass the message from those who are interested for the proceeding, whether he want to get the proceeding books, or he want to publish paper, or he want to collaborate, or he want to cite the paper from Dr. Ramesh. Please welcome to connect with Dr. Ramesh. Okay,
yes.
so yeah, thank you so
And
much, Dr.
that I will come lastly after the proceeding summary. I will
Yes,
come back. What is the future plan? So that you can
yes.
collaborate with me. That I'll be coming. So
So if in future, if any researcher interested to publish any paper in this proceeding, I believe this is Scopus index proceeding, right?
yes, Scopus
Yes.
index.
So it's not easy to get Scopus index, okay, for a
Yes.
journal or for a proceeding. So it's very beneficial. It's very encouraged to publish paper in Scopus index journal. But this is proceeding, right? So, do you want to do a very brief summary on the
Yes,
proceeding?
yes, I would like to show. So this is working as editor. It was wonderful experience. Organizing international conference also was very this thing, and better professional relationship can be developed, and researchers globally. You make friends, and then this wonderful achievement is close to my heart, and I'm thankful to UTM Library and UTM Toastmaster. So I would like to donate this volume, uh, hard copy, to UTM Library. I'll, with best compliment, with my autograph, I'll hand over to UTM Library whenever I'm at soon. Okay. So I'm very happy, and soft copies I will give it a individual request, one-to-one basis. Okay. So about future, you asked me question about future collaboration. So future, actually, second volume already is coming. So I am also editor of Q1 journal mathematics, Q1 journal impact factor 2.594, special issue advances in computational intelligence in geotechnical and geological engineering. Related to my area, I am the Q1 editor. Okay, if you want to publish, the manuscript can be submitted up to June 2023. Okay, so I'm also another Q2 special issue, computational intelligence system for solving complex engineering problems. So this is open up to 31st December 2022. I'm also editor for my own book, Springer book, Advancement in Mining Technology in South Computing. I am also book CRC press book, Advancement in Underground Infrastructures. So this is my specialized area. So I'm publishing that book. And Springer International Conference Proceedings, Innovative Infrastructure. It will be held by Department of Civil Engineering, 10,223. So there also I am the editor. Similar civil engineering notes will be brought, but it will be called as innovative infrastructure. Okay, so I have got 20 Q1, Q2 papers ready for publication. If somebody wants to collaborate, you can.
Wow,
Uh,
that is so impressive. I really wish I'm from
yesterday only
geotechnical.
yesterday only I wrote 5 Q1 abstract I submitted. Means out of 8 for impact factor 6.4, one abstract already accepted. Totally, but I work with different research team. So yesterday I submitted 5, wrote and submitted. I work from 3 a.m. to 1 a.m. Means 22 hours. Like working, but
Very
that hard work is required. And so any publication, research collaboration, you are open. You can uh,
sure.
collaborate with me. And
Open to
okay.
me also.
Yes,
I
sure,
really,
sure.
I really
You
want.
are from
Actually,
same civil engineering. I don't know what is your discipline, but means
I'm
which
from
area
civil
of research you
engineering.
are doing? Huh?
I'm from civil engineering, but
Yes,
material
yes,
and
that I
structure
understood. But
department.
which area you are doing the research? So.
Structural and material department.
Okay,
So
okay, very good, very good.
slightly
Actually,
different field.
the materials there is a throughout year it is available. Article processing charges for new material or innovative material. You can tell me, and your paper will be published with article processing charges. Sponsor is available. Okay, so that much
Okay,
collaboration I am having. Okay, so
thank you, Dr. Ramesh,
okay.
so much for the
Thank you.
information
Okay,
from
12 noon. So let us.
your expertise.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
this
thank you.
opportunity. So I'll give this volume to the memory, which is at my heart, and hand over to library, UTM library.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution. So by listening to our Dr. Liu Wenqing and Dr. Ramesh, we learn about ninja spirit as well as how to publish a paper and some technical knowledge on geotechnical or underground structure. So I believe if you are a researcher in front of the screen, maybe it is time to start boosting your productivity as well as publish your paper, okay, as many as possible. So thank you so much for UTM Library for the opportunity, and thank you so much for UTM Toastmaster Club for giving us the opportunity to share our knowledge, or even for me to moderate this session. For those who are wondering what is Toastmaster Club, Toastmaster International is a non-profit or educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network clubs. So in UTM, we do have two Toastmaster Club. Feel free to join us by visiting our club. We are training people how to do public speaking. Okay, so we need member. So feel free to text us. And for the audience, do remember to register for this morning session or for your attendance in the Facebook comment below. So Dr. Ramesh, Dr. Liu, do you want to any last few words you want to say?
No,
Maybe.
I just want means who are the listening to our talk, let them join and collaborate with me. I will be happy, like and
So
guide
Dr.
for their
Ramesh
research work.
is open to collaboration.
Yes,
Okay, thank
yes.
you so much, Dr. Ramesh. Hope we can collaborate with you. Maybe our audience can collaborate with you in the future. Dr. Ribenchi, any last few words from you? Okay, you have to unmute yourself.
Yes, I would like to send my regards to all my Toastmaster friends who sending good books to me, and this is just one of them. I feel more also gifted by my Toastmaster friends. I guess Toastmaster is not just a place that we are trained to be a good public speaker, trained to be a good leader, but also trained to be a good readers for the books and a sharer to share some insights with all of you. So do join us and do share with me if you have any good non-fiction book. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All the audience, you might wonder why three of us keep mentioning Toastmaster Club, because three of us are from UTM Toastmaster Club member. Okay. So do not be afraid to join us, because UTM Toastmaster Club is not only for the great, but for especially for those who really want to improve their speaking. okay, before you step into the larger platform in the future. So that's all from us. Thank you so much, UTM Library, for the opportunity, because I know UTM Library is a very efficient and productive team. They organize a lot of useful workshop and event and content. So thank you so much for the opportunity. So that's all for the session, 1 hour. So let's conclude this session, and thank you so much. Bye bye.